Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabi al-kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Welcome to the first live stream for Izzah Academy, my latest project. And this is going to be something different. I actually don't want to make this very formal. I want the live streams for this academy to have more of a conversation style. I want us to start talking about these topics that are very controversial, topics that nobody wants to talk about anymore. I want to discuss them, to learn about them from a proper Quran and Sunnah perspective, and to have open and honest discussions on these topics. So, today, I just want to share with you a bit about why I'm launching this institute. Why are we launching the Izzah Academy, and what we hope to attain with Izzah Academy. So, to begin, Izzah comes from the word respect, right, or honor. This is the Arabic word for respect or honor. And Izzah is one of the goals of the Sharia, to preserve the respect and the honor of the believers, that every Muslim must live a respectable lifestyle, that we should be looked up to by society as models of the best way of life, that people should see us as da'wah. Our very existence, our very life should be da'wah. And there are many parts to Izzah. Obviously, the main part is through the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But through that, there are certain aspects of our religion that increase our Izzah, including having good character, including being brave, including our manners. And one of these parts to Izzah is marriage and family. That when someone is able to succeed in the area of marriage and family, it increases their dignity and honor in society, and it also helps the ummah to grow. So the word Izzah is taken from this. That we want to revive this goal of the Sharia, the goal of having a dignified ummah. And we want to do this through reviving Muslim families. That we want Muslim families to be happy. We want to grow. We want to see a decrease in the divorce rates. We want to see more people getting married. We want to see more young people excited about marriage. We want to see marriages working and flourishing again, so that this ummah can grow. Because we know one of the recommendations of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to get married and have a lot of children. And it seems that what's going on in the Muslim world today, that this is simply not happening with a lot of people. A lot of young people don't want to get married. They are scared of commitment. They are scared of having children. They are scared of abuse. People have genuine fears that are preventing them from pursuing marriage. And we want to help them to deal with this. We want to help them to overcome this. We want to make marriage something that people are excited about again, something that people look forward to, something that works. That's the thing, to make it work once again. And the one of the reasons why I wanted to start this was about a year ago. I started doing research into the topic of masculinity, because I noticed amongst the Muslim youth that there were two extremes that were happening when it came to masculinity, right? There were those who did not know what it means to be a man, and they never grew up. So these are the man childs, people who stay boys for the rest of their lives. They never grow up, they never become responsible, they never become leaders, they never become brave. They just stay boys for the rest of their life. And this is very dangerous for society, that if all our men are boys, then when things go bad, it goes really, really bad. There's nobody to defend society. So this is a big worry, that a lot of boys are simply not growing up. They stay boys into their 20s and even into their 30s. So how do we deal with this? Well, in response to this, another extreme came about in our communities, which is the red pill side of it, right? Where we have these guys who think that being manly is all about being rough and harsh and violent, and being vulgar and mean to people, all of which goes completely against the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so I'm seeing these two extremes, both in the real world and even more so online. And then we're seeing a sort of gender war happening online, where young boys and young girls seem to be developing a hate, which is very unnatural, right? The natural thing throughout history is, at that age, the opposite gender is a fitna for you, and you need to get married. But what we're seeing now is that people are seeing the opposite gender not as a fitna in terms of I'm tempted, I need to get married, but they're seeing them as a fitna in terms of I hate that entire gender, I want nothing to do with them. This is a ridiculous attitude, and I believe it comes from a lack of education on how to deal with the opposite gender. So I decided to write a book on masculinity. I spent 6 months researching this topic. I started writing. I wrote over 100 pages. And then I decided it's just not working. A book is not enough. A book is not going to do justice to this topic. So I deleted the book, and I then decided to start another book. So I started writing a second book on the topic, and that one's coming along quite well. But I realized a book is not enough, right? Not everybody reads books, and a lot of the people who are very rich with this topic, they are not readers. We need to reach out to them through video. We need to reach out to them through courses. We need to reach out to them through blog posts. Not everyone's going to read books. So I spoke to some friends who were also very passionate about this topic, and they said, "Let's start a website." So I said, "Okay, let's do it." And they said, "Okay, we're busy. We'll start the website later." And this happened for month upon month, from June right till now. Every month I ask them, "Let's start a website." Everyone's like, "We're busy. Let's start it later." So finally, last month, I got tired of waiting. I bought the domain name. I designed the logo. I started the website, and Alhamdulillah, we now have this platform where we can talk about this topic, and let's see where it goes from here. Inshallah, it will grow. At least now we have a platform where we can educate people on the Quran and Sunnah perspective on these topics. So this is our goal. Our goal is a revival of the Quran and Sunnah approach to gender roles and marriage and parenting. And we hope that we are able to reach as many people as possible and to change the discourse. We really are very worried about how antagonistic and mean spirited the discourse around gender roles has become online, because really marriage is something to be excited about. It's something to look forward to. It's something uh, that should excite young people, and that's not what we're seeing. We are seeing the complete opposite, and we want to change that. And there's a few things that we are going to do to get this done. So firstly, in terms of our primary products, we're going to start off with blog posts and videos and live streams. um, so if this picks up, we're going to add ebooks and online courses. I'm currently preparing our first online course, which will be on how to be a good father and husband, because this knowledge seems to be lacking in some of the younger generation, right? They don't even know how to be nice. Let's face it, some young people don't even know how to be nice to their spouses, leave alone how to lead or how to be brave. So we need to revive the discourse around this, and we need to be honest about it. I'm hoping our first online course will be aimed at men on how to be a good husband and father. And through this course, we will teach them the basics of being qawwam, of being the provider, protector, and leader of your household. Right? The provider, protector, and leader of your household. And we are going to approach this as honestly as possible. I know nowadays this is a very sensitive topic. You know, people don't want to hear any criticism. They don't want to hear uh, anything that will reflect negatively on them. And a lot of us are growing up with this idea that I am perfect the way I am. But this idea is nonsense, right? This idea I am perfect the way I am, it's nonsense, because no human being alive today is perfect. We all are a work in progress. We all have weaknesses. We all have faults. We all have areas in which we can grow, in which we can develop, in which we can become better people. Every single one of us have areas where we can definitely improve. And if we think that I am perfect the way I am, then we can never see our own faults. We can never see the areas in which we can improve. We will never see the ways in which we can become better Muslims and better husbands and better wives and better people. So we are going to approach this from the idea that all of us are here to learn, and we want to learn, and sometimes what we learn may not be what our nafs wants, right? That the Quran and Sunnah may say something and our nafs wants the opposite, and we need to submit to the Quran and Sunnah. So five principles upon which we're going to build Izzah Institute. Number one is authenticity. Authenticity. That we are building Izzah Institute upon Quran and Sunnah. we're going to try as much as possible to avoid fiqh discussions. When it comes to matters of fiqh, if there's any difference of opinion between the madhabs, we will mention what each madhab has to say. If there's no difference of opinion, then we will just mention what Islam has to say, right? But we're not going to get into any fights between madhabs, and we're not going to dismiss the concept either. Nonetheless, most of what we are going to discuss are principles, and these principles are agreed upon by the madhabs. So we are going to stick to the Quran and Sunnah. So if the Quran says, and the Quran does say, that men are qawwam over their wives, we will discuss what this means. We'll discuss how to be qawwam. We'll discuss the importance of this. We'll discuss why this works, right, and why this is important. If the hadith says something that seems controversial, we will discuss the hadith, and we will explain why that hadith is important. And we will discuss why Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that, and what is the benefit of following that hadith. So, number one, our approach is going to be authentic. We are going to focus on Quran and Sunnah, and we're not going to worry about appeasing this side, or this group or that group. We're going to say as per what the Quran and Sunnah says on the topic. And if we make any mistake, please correct us and please let us know you said this, but the Quran actually says that, and we are not going to take on any criticism. Number two, we want to focus on what matters, starting with priorities. We're going to make a list of priorities in the field of family life and focus on that. So we're not going to jump into issues that don't affect our communities. We're not going to discuss into issues of the past, right? So we're not going to discuss, for example, the issue of having a concubine, right, which seems to be a hot topic amongst some young boys. Let's face it, it's never going to happen in your lifetime. It's not relevant to you. So we're not bringing it up because this is a practical skills training academy, right? There's no practical benefit of discussing that topic. So, number one, authenticity. Number two, priorities. That we will prioritize what is important to our audience. So, if we have an audience that have a problem with courage, we will discuss how to gain courage. If we have an audience who have a problem with commitment, we will discuss commitment. If we have men who don't know how to be fathers or women who don't know how to be mothers, we will teach parenting. We will focus on priorities. And to do this, we need to know you. We need to know what your needs are, what areas you are struggling with, what you want advice on, so we can formulate our articles and videos and courses accordingly. And so to do that, I'm hoping to reach out to you through social media and through these live streams. Number three, we want to be solution focused. We're not going to be a complaining platform. We're not going to be the kind of platform where people sit and whine about the state of the ummah. We're not going to be the platform where people sit and whine that nobody's teaching masculinity and nobody's teaching marriage and nobody's preaching against feminism. No, we're not a whining or complaining platform. We are a solutions focused platform, meaning we are here to provide solutions. You bring up a problem, we brainstorm it, we research it, we provide a solution. And our focus is in the field of family. So, any family related problems, divorce rates are too high. Okay, let's find a solution. People can't find wives or husbands. Okay, let's find a solution. Certain demographics are finding it difficult to get married. Let's find a solution. We want to focus on solutions, not on whining and complaining. Number four, we want to focus on optimism. So we are an optimistic organization. We have hope for the future. We hope that with just 5 or 10 years of videos and articles and courses of this nature, we can completely turn around this situation. That within one generation, we will have young people who are excited about marriage, who are making their marriages work, who are flourishing, who are building beautiful families, and this problem would be over. We are very optimistic about the future, and we share that optimism with you, and we hope that our optimism is contagious and that people become excited about marriage and family and the future of the ummah again, instead of being so pessimistic and angry all the time. And number five, our goal is to build loving homes, where wives feel loved, husbands feel loved, children feel loved, parents feel loved. We want the Muslim home to be a place of muhabba again. So the way we approach this topic, the way we discuss it, the choice of words, all of it works towards building homes that are loving in nature. There is a lot of problems online today with the way we talk about this topic. The vulgarness, the harshness, the hate, that all of that is not from Islam. The Islamic approach to marriage is that this is something exciting, this is something natural, this is something people should look forward to, And you're not going to do that by being vulgar and mean and harsh towards people. So this is our principles: authentic, prioritizing, focusing on solutions, being optimistic, nurturing loving homes, and finally, number 6, being straightforward. Being straightforward, meaning if something is clear in the Quran and Sunnah, we will state it. If something is clearly a problem in our communities, we will discuss it. If something controversial needs to be said, we will say it. Because we cannot change as a ummah unless we directly address our problems. And these are definitely problems. What's going on around us today are definitely problems that need to be addressed directly. And we have another problem in that many of us are scared to talk about it. Many of us are worried about community backlash. We're worried about cancel culture. We're worried about getting trolled online. What I'm looking for in my team are people who don't care about any of that. Like if you want to join the Izzah Academy team and either speak or write or get involved behind the scenes, understand that you need to be someone who does not care what people think of you. You're not worried about being cancelled. You're not worried about what your community will say. You're not worried about being trolled online. Your focus is on the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because these topics require courage. Now, when you say one thing on these topics that somebody doesn't like, you will have 1,000 people emailing you, angry emails, and they will be trying to get you cancelled and they'll try to get you fired. And you have to be able to deal with all of that. And that was the difficult thing I had putting together a team. In fact, right now it's just me. But I do have a few people on standby who will be joining in the upcoming months as they get more time on their hands. Um, but the difficult thing I had putting together a team is almost everybody I approached on this topic was like, yeah, we need to talk about that, but not me. No, not me. And you ask, why not you? Because I don't want to get in trouble. With who? For some people, it's with their families. For some, it's with their communities. For some, it's with their employers, right? So we're putting together a team of people who don't care about what others think about them. We are here to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are here to do things in a way that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are here to speak the truth honestly, but kindly and justly and wisely, and to guide people in the direction that they need to go in order to once again have loving Muslim homes. So that's our goal, and that's what we're all about. So this is something entirely new. I just launched the blog. We just have 3 articles out at the moment. One on akhlaq and character, one on the maqasid, the goals of marriage, and one on how to raise your young boys into men. Right, just these 3 articles that I wrote are available on the blog. We have our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and our Twitter page, where I have been sharing some of my ideas on these topics and gathering together a bit of an audience. And for this topic specifically, I'm hoping to focus on YouTube. Why? Because this is currently the best way to communicate about this topic. People uh, want to discuss things live. So if live streams pick up, if you get a good audience, if people start communicating in the chat box and asking their questions and getting involved, then this will become the main way of communicating with our audience. So to close off this session, again, this is just our first session, so we weren't really expecting much. Uh, Izzah Academy is focused on reviving happy Muslim homes, to revive the concept of family, to teaching men and women how to be husbands and wives, how to be mothers and fathers, how to make marriage work, how to make parenting work, how to make your home something exciting and something to look forward to, um, and how to revive the Muslim family. We hope through this we will be able to influence people enough that we lower the divorce rate, we increase the marriage rate, and more importantly, we increase the rate of happy marriages. It's not enough that you just married, but to actually be content and happy and to say Alhamdulillah for the family that you have. That's what we want to see for people. And so every article we write, every video we publish, every course we design will work towards this goal. We plan to do it in a way that is authentic. We plan to do it in a way that is clear and blunt. We plan to do it in a way that is prioritized, that provides solutions, that is optimistic, and that is goal focused. These are our 6 principles upon which we are working. We're going to build this slowly, take it one step at a time, see where it goes. And we ask Allah to accept this from us. We ask Allah to make this project beneficial for the Ummah. Uh, and to allow us to achieve our goals. So for those of you who joined us live, mention something in the chat box. Let us know what you think about the project. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to cover. What approach do you think is best? Should we stick to blog posts, social media? Do you like the idea of live streams? Do you want us to go more into books and online courses? Let us know. We want to connect with you. We want to provide you solutions in the way that you feel is best. So, end of the day, I ask all of you to make dua for me and to make dua that we're able to grow this platform into something beneficial. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this effort from us, to make it beneficial for the ummah, and to help us to achieve our goals. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.